Moving on. Amid the Hindi imposition row, the politics now heats up over delimitation, a process that could reshape the political landscape of Tamil Nadu. This is what Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has raised concerns on, that a delimitation exercise, particularly one based on projected 2026 population figures, could lead to Tamil Nadu losing up to 8 to 9 Lok Sabha seats, which he argues is a strategy by the centre to reduce the political influence of the opposition-ruled states. Now, as a war of words has escalated, speaking at the inauguration of the BJP district offices in Coimbatore, Union Home Minister Amit Shah launched a scathing attack on the ruling DMK establishment in Tamil Nadu, accusing its leaders of corruption and misgovernance. Rejecting Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's allegations that Tamil Nadu was denied central funds, Amit Shah launched a blistering attack at Stalin and his son Udayanidhi, accusing them of misleading the people of Tamil Nadu. Amit Shah further dismissed the charges raised by Stalin regarding the centre's policies and fund allocations and called Stalin's accusations a lie and categorically stated that there was no truth in the claims made by the DMK government. He also took a direct aim at Stalin's allegations of fund denial by the centre. The Home Minister rejected the claim, stating that the centre has never withheld funds meant for Tamil Nadu. So clearly, the Hindi imposition, NEP and some of the other aspects also being countered by the Home Minister. He further asserted that the BJP will form a government in Tamil Nadu in 2026. He didn't say BJP, he said NDA. The NDA will form a government, so hinting at a possible partnership with the AIDMK. We have to wait and watch, and some of the other allies. And to end nepotism and corruption in the state, while also removing individuals that allowed anti-Bharat activities. Now, Stalin has strongly criticized the NEP, accusing the central government of attempting to impose Hindi in Tamil Nadu. The centre has rejected the claims made by Stalin and other opposition leaders. They argue that the opposition to NEP is driven by political motivation rather than genuine concerns over education. Tamil Nadu CM made it clear that as long as the DMK is in power in Tamil Nadu, the state will not accept the imposition of any national education policy that threatens linguistic and cultural autonomy, to which the centre has urged the states to look beyond their narrow regional perspectives and recognize the larger vision behind the NEP. Stalin accused the centre of using financial incentives and funds as tools of coercion to pressure states. Centre, in response to Stalin's accusations, has called on the states to rise above political differences and recognize the larger picture of the NEP. Now to the other point, delimitation. Stalin has expressed strong concerns over the delimitation exercise, alleging that Tamil Nadu could lose 8 MPs under the proposed changes. The centre, in response to Stalin's concerns, argues that Tamil Nadu will not lose seats in parliament but will instead benefit from the delimitation process. Stalin fiercely criticized the delimitation exercise, calling it a sword hanging over the South Indian states, particularly Tamil Nadu. The centre, in contrast, has strongly defended the delimitation process, stating that Tamil Nadu will not lose a single seat in parliament. The proportion percentage will be maintained. The process will also lead to suppression of Tamil Nadu's voice in parliament, says Stalin. The centre says that Stalin and his son Udayanidhi are deviating from real issues. They've accused them of deliberately trying to deflect and mislead the people of Tamil Nadu. To better understand the validity of Stalin's concerns regarding the potential loss of 8 MPs for Tamil Nadu, in the event of a delimitation exercise, we also need to understand how many Lok Sabha seats each state and union territory would get if they are allocated the same according to the projected population figures of 2026. Now, we've compared the data from the Indian Express, which maintains the current seat of 543, and American think tank Carnegie Endowment International Peace, which proposes an increase of a total number of seats to 846. Now, here's what it looks like. According to the projection by the Indian Express, Uttar Pradesh, that currently has 80 seats, would have 94, witnessing an increase of 14. However, according to the projection by Carnegie, and the state would witness an increase of 63 seats and have 143 Lok Sabha seats in total. Now, according to the projection by Indian Express, the current seats in Bihar would be increased by 11 seats, while Carnegie data states that the seats would be increased from 40 to 79. Rajasthan has 25 Lok Sabha seats as per the Indian Express, but then the number goes up to 32 as per Indian Express. Carnegie says the number will go twofold up to 50. States in northern India being projected to be top gainers. Here's a look at the southern states. According to the projection by Indian Express, Karnataka, that currently has 28 seats, would have 26 seats, witnessing a decrease of 2 seats. Carnegie projects the seats to increase by 13, taking the total to 41. Kerala, however, the Indian Express projects the seats to witness a decrease from 20 to 14. Carnegie projecting the number of seats to remain unchanged following the delimitation exercise. And in Tamil Nadu, the Indian Express has projected the most decrease of 9 seats, whereas Carnegie data suggests an uptake of 10 seats, taking the total tally to 49. Listen to what Amit Shah had to say.
मैं फिर से एक बार कोयम्बतूर की ये पवित्र भूमि पर से दक्षिण के सभी राज्य की जनता को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि मोदी जी ने निश्चित रूप से आपके सभी हितों की रक्षा कर डिलिमिटेशन में आपका एक भी सीट प्रोरेटा कम न हो और जो बढ़ोतरी होगी इसमें उचित हिस्सा दक्षिण भारत के राज्यों को भी मिलेगा। इसमें कोई शंका रखने की जरूरत नहीं है।
Kalyan Raman of the BJP, Tamil Nadu BJP with us, Pulla Rao, political analyst, and Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS with us. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, who would you lean to in terms of the numbers? Clearly, Mr. Stalin is taking the Indian Express report and somewhere airing those concerns, whereas Carnegie and international data suggests otherwise. But the fact of the matter is this entire delimitation exercise has not even happened yet.
So even if it happens, Anand, the point here is the number of seats totally is going to go up. The population of Tamil Nadu in 2001, when delimitation last happened, compared to now, is significantly higher. How is the number of seats going to go down? Sure, in proportion to others, UP seats will go up, Bihar seats will go up compared to Tamil Nadu. But Tamil Nadu share is definitely going up. This is, this is astounding thing about this, Anand, is that this has gotten any traction. When all somebody needs to know is look at 2001 population of Tamil Nadu and look at the 2025 population of Tamil Nadu. It is just natural that it has to go up. All right. Now, this was the same party that was very happily fighting with Rahul Gandhi, who was Jitni Abadi Utni Haq. Suddenly, no more Jitni Abadi Utni Haq. Jitni Abadi Utni Haq when it applies to caste, but not when it applies to region. I'm sorry, you now have to bite the entire, you've ordered the pizza, now you have to swallow the entire pizza. No leftovers.
Pulla Rao ji, we take the conversation from yesterday forward.
Okay, you see, the main thing is, I think Mr. Amit Shah has made a blunder. What is pro rata? That's exactly what Stalin is saying. Why did you get the 42nd Amendment in 1976? Why did you get the 84th Amendment in 2002? To freeze the seats. There is enough disharmony in India. I heard what Mr. Iyer said. I respect his views. But what they are saying is, Tamil Nadu seats will increase. Andhra seats will increase. Yes. But Uttar Pradesh will increase by enormous amount. The gap will be too much. Let me just bring one point. Why did they have in the USA, whatever the population of a state is, the Senate will have only 2 seats? That's a federal system. It is a very, very dangerous path. Right or wrong aside, the perceptions. Now what will happen? Let's say Tamil Nadu gets 50 seats. Uttar Pradesh gets 130 seats, 120 seats. Tamil Nadu's power proportionally goes down. Therefore, what Mr. Amit Shah has said, unwittingly when he says pro rata, it means he has agreed with Stalin. Maybe Stalin will articulate it slowly. And I also believe, forget Mr. Stalin, that don't go on these paths. We have enough disharmony. Why did they freeze the states, Mr. Narasimhan? Vajpayee was no less a statesman than anybody we had, 2002. Indira Gandhi did it during the emergency. Why? Because they knew these kind of things. No need. Let Tamil Nadu have 40 seats. Uttar Pradesh have 80 seats. Things are going on. That's exactly it. Your population is going up. And what you're doing is, we'll increase the number of seats. Therefore, that is not correct. If you're going to say, you're going to change the structure, fine, say it. That's what he has said. I think it was a misspoken situation. It will have its ramifications. The correct thing, yes, I agree with what Mr. Iyer said. Itna sankha, itna abadi hai. I agree. That's correct. He's correct. When you want that, but Prime Minister also pointed out that I don't agree with that. Will you agree with that? Correctly. The correct thing is to put a cap on this topic. Let it go.
No, but
why you will want to increase?
Let Abhijit Iyer Mitra respond, because you can't see 10%, like we said yesterday. 10% of 100 will be 10, sir, and 10% of 200 will be 20. And so you can't then fight and say, oh, 10 is less than 20, but I must also get 20 because you are getting 20. That's not the logic. That logic defeats itself. When you make that kind of a logic, your representation will go down. That's unfair. The population of Tamil Nadu is 8.53 crore. Population of Uttar Pradesh is 26 crore. And are you saying that Tamil Nadu should have greater proportionate representation than Uttar Pradesh in the Lok Sabha? How is that fair to the people of Uttar Pradesh or Bihar? That's what they're saying. What are they saying? They're saying that today you have 39 seats. So what is the percentage of representation of Tamil Nadu in Parliament? When the size increases, that percentage of representation will remain the same as what the HMS said. And if I have understood him correctly, pro rata there will not be any decrease, is what he said. So today, if Tamil Nadu seats out of 543 is 40 seats, then what is the percentage? You can calculate that same percentage. Even if the house amount goes up to 800, 850, 900, we don't know. That percentage will be retained, is what he is saying. Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Kalyan Ramanji is also back with us. I'll go across to him after you. Abhijit, yes, please.
Pro rata, even under the pro rata, the number of seats will increase. Why? Because your population was what, 6.2 crores in 2001.
Correct.
Now it is 8.5 crores.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, this notion that somehow UP, which is now worth 130 seats, to be retained at 80, and Tamil Nadu, which is worth about 50-51 seats, to be retained at 39, I mean counting Pondicherry 40, is the same as apartheid. The reverse of all of this is apartheid, where you will not give seats based on population. You will freeze it in time. How is this any different from the Afrikaners in South Africa, saying we are 25% of the population, but we must get 80% of the seats in parliament? It's no different. It's exactly the same thing. So what Stalin is advocating for is outright apartheid. Now, he has a point. If a state does well, we're being punished for doing well. Okay, brilliant. Now, what is the solution to that? There is no solution to it. We are not a democracy that functions on 1 rupee, 1 vote. We're a democracy that functions on 1 person, 1 vote. You look at the delimitation that's happened in America. California, at one point of time in the Presidential Electoral College, used to be 17 seats. Today, it is a huge number in the Electoral College. You look at the number of senators, House of Representatives, Congress, how much it used to send. It was 7 members when California started off. Today, it has the highest representation, something like 54 members in the US House of Congress. That is how things work. It's very simple. One way you can increase the number is you increase economic migration. One of the reasons New York and California have such huge numbers in the US House of Congress is because they keep attracting people through business opportunity and increase population through migration. Are you willing to do that? No. You see, when you say the South is doing fantastically well, the actual per capita income difference between Bihar and Tamil Nadu is minuscule. They're all low income states. This is not like China, where Beijing has a $30,000 per capita income and Tibet has a $2,600 per capita income. We're not talking. So, high income, low income, doing better, not doing better. These are all ludicrous statistics. This is like one Jhuggi Jhopdi wala calling the other Jhuggi Jhopdi wala because he put a corrugated tin roof on his head. Oh, you're doing very well, sir. That's not how things.
Yeah, I agree. Kalyan Raman is also with us. Kalyan Ramanji, we had some issue with your number connection, but now I think it's all sorted. Please go ahead. Yes. Your thoughts. Is Mr. Stalin deliberately trying to fearmonger, and will this crying wolf every time pay dividends? Is this being done in the run-up to elections to create a frenzy? Or is there a genuine concern they're saying is Tamil Nadu's interest being compromised and DMK is the elected government and we have to bat for the interest of the Tamil people?
The first and foremost thing is that in the absence of definition of how the delimitation is going to take place, anything that is being speculated is insane, to use the lowest possible slander against whoever is trying to imagine and try to promote a kind of enmity towards the rest of the nation. This Dravidian movement itself is anti-national, anti-North by default for a long time. And now what they are trying to do is the delimitation is going to take place in the form of population alone. That's the impression they are trying to create.
Right.
What we can see is that roughly there are 40 1,000 people or 50,000, 40 to 50,000 people in Lakshadweep as voters for the entire Lok Sabha. Whereas in Malkajgiri, the size is over 30 lakhs. So, what is the factor that is going to work on the delimitation is still not defined. In the absence of a clear-cut definition, you have to go by the words of the Home Minister, who clearly and categorically today stated that the numbers will increase on the basis of pro rata. Then, why this delimitation has to take place is the logical, natural question that happens. For the sake of proper administration, naturally, we need to have more number of people participating, and that is why we have envisioned a larger parliament to have a larger participation, and hence the number is going to increase, and we have fixed a time frame in which the numbers are going to go up. And if you don't go by the promise of the Honorable Home Minister himself in Coimbatore today, then what are we talking about? And where the speculation has come to stay from somebody who always needs momentary feeding every now and then. Somebody has to give him a chit of paper to answer to any question. Where he is arriving at such a imagination. He's not a man who can even think. I'm sorry to say that Stalin is an insane personality who is trying to promote the insanity across the state. Not only across the state, but also rest of the South India. It is an unfortunate fact that the society will not succumb to it. Tamil Nadu will not take it.
Now, CPM has also backed Stalin's statement. See, I think the South states are getting a little worried.
What is this CPM all about? They are a bunch of stooges.
No. But
not correct.
Kalyan Ramanji, you know, everybody can call everybody names. It's very easy to do that. My point is...
They have taken money on record. They have taken money on record. Please understand. They have taken money on record. They have taken money, 25 crores on record. For the sake of what? During 2019 elections, for the sake of what? They have taken money. They were bribed to be in the alliance.
No.
How can I not call them by names?
No. You can call them names, but there is a narrative that's being pushed. You have to counter that narrative. Now, what I'm saying is, will the other southern states also start echoing this? That the south of the Vindhyas, the overall comparative representation will go down. There is confusion around pro rata. There is also confusion around population, if it is going to be the base of population. What the Home Minister has said, does that clarify things that pro rata, the percentage will be maintained? Is that assurance enough?
It is a word of the Honorable Home Minister himself, number one. Number two, if there is any Chief Minister who is looked at by the entire Southerners with the highest level of contempt, the one who reads with a piece of paper, it is Stalin. Nobody else. Others use their brain. It is not Stalin. Stalin never uses his brain. It is all unfortunate. That is the kind of CM we have. So, who is going to follow somebody who is uninspiring?
Sir,
how they managed to get the numbers in terms of votes for the system or the mechanism that they have built over a period of 15
again, a person reading.
Count.
Sir, with due respect to all our political readers, a person reading out of a paper or person reading out of a teleprompter does not show the mental ability or the capacity of that person. Very, very respectfully, they are all senior statesmen. You are welcome to have your opinion. But the larger question is he making an informed opinion or is he deliberately trying to cause a frenzy and try and fearmonger? Mr. Pullarao, from NEP where there is no Hindi imposition, he claimed Hindi imposition, to this delimitation issue where there is no taking away seats and he is claiming taking away seats based on certain reports. Is that an educated assessment, or is he deliberately trying to tell the Tamil people, you better vote for me only, otherwise you are in danger? You better vote for me and my party only, otherwise Tamil people, Tamil existence is in danger. Then this is whipping up a frenzy.
Let me just come. You nicely said you're not sure on the pro rata business. 140 seats, roughly. I mean, 141 or 140 South has out of 543. If the thing goes up to 800, will they have 200? No.
Sir, it's the same. You have to look at a percentage, sir. You talk in percentages. No, you mix. You deliberately. Pularauji, I'll tell you, you are deliberately playing with percentage and numbers. I told you the same thing. 10% is 10%. 10% of 200 will be 20. 10% of 100 will be 10. You can't then say, then if that 100 becomes 150, 10% will be 15. If that 100 becomes, if that 200 becomes 300, 10% will be 30. Then you will say, oh, 10 to 20 only 10 seats difference. 15 to 30, 15 seats difference. This is unfair. That cannot be the yardstick. You either stick to numbers or stick to. He's saying pro rata percentage will remain the same.
That's the way they look at it. And Mr. Iyer referred to California. I agree with him on New York. Trump won his election without New York and California. And Trump raised the issue that they're replenishing voters in California. They're bringing all these guys and putting, whether it's correct or not, Trump won his election on that. That they're replenishing voters in California, New York, all these guys coming from here and there, giving them votes. Then he won. Though he lost California, though he lost Illinois, though he lost New York. So what I'm trying to say is, I may be wrong, but this is an important issue in the South. They watch these things. Are perceptions important? Yes, they are important.
No, but when the Home Minister of the country is saying representation will be the same, Abhijit Iyer Mitra for the Chief Minister of the state to say, no, representation will not be the same. We need to whip up a frenzy. I need to scaremonger you. Is that fair? Is he scaremongering or is he saying, watch out, we need to be alert? What is he doing?
Tell me, Anand, when have you ever known Stalin to be responsible in anything? You saw the kind of statements his son made about Sanatana Dharma, what Posunga, Vandu Yellathiyo Kadiko, malaria varum, God knows what not he said about Sanatana Dharma. You think the father is going to be any better? The apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, you see. So this, everything, Hindi also, Hindi imposition, Hamko Gindi Nagi Malum, whatever he has to say, he says it. It's better to take it in one year and take it out of the other year. I wonder, I want to go to Thousand Lights and places like that and tell him to have the same attitude towards seats with Muslim seats in Tamil Nadu as well, and let's see how many votes he gets the next time. The biggest increase in UP would be Muslim areas out there, which I want us to first get the figures of who is increasing where, and then take it to Tamil Nadu. Now, if the BJP is really smart, they should catch him and say, well, Thousand Lights, the population is increased. We shouldn't increase their representation either. All of these things, there are lots of games to be played out here. The man is caught up in, first, he loves fearmongering. I don't know if you remember, there used to be a real clown of a minister called Tamilkudi Mahan, Minister for Tamil Affairs. His only job was to put up posters everywhere saying, God bless, long live divine Tamil, holy Tamil mother. Idhukku oru minister thevaya. They actually pay people, give people a government car with revolving red light, big bungalow on Shamier's Road, for just putting up posters like this.
No, but that is better than a minister having a portfolio in another state for 20 months, realizing there is no department in the same.
Let me come in here.
Everybody kept quiet. Everybody kept quiet.
Let me come in here to say that somebody had thrown some fanciful idea into Stalin's brain that if he start talking about such fanciful things across the state, keeping away from the existing issues, like who the culprit was in the Anna university issue and so on and so forth. We have to keep on making issues which are not unfounded issues. This idea somebody has thrown into his brain, that is why he's getting caught in unwanted things. Let's take the case of GST. We will not pay GST. Who the hell are you to not to pay GST? It is not under your control. There is SGST, CGST, there is IGST. Not a single one of them under your control. And you saying that within a second I will stop all the thing. And today I was hearing some statement from somebody that they are going to pass a resolution that they will not pay the tax. That is the GST. When you talk about tax, it is GST we are talking about. How a government run by such a huge party since 50 and odd years can be so nonsensical? Brainless creatures are running the government. Very unfortunate to say that.
No,
Something that is not under your control, you are going to say that you are going to control. It is like I'm going to put west towards north or sun towards the west for rising. It is highly nonsensical, and that is what they are trying to do to fool around the country. They are lowering the standard of the Tamils, actually. By doing so, they are reducing the actual characteristic and standard of the otherwise
tell me, Mr. Kalyan
vibrant,
Raman,
brilliant Tamil
who
population.
enjoys the mandate in Tamil Nadu currently? Both in
Yes.
Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha, both in Assembly.
If you ask me this question, I can give you a wonderful answer. It is just the booth management system that they have been having since 1967. Nothing more than that. People simply have no respect for Stalin or anybody for that matter. It's just the booth management they have been having, coupled with anti-incumbency of last 10 years of AIADMK between 2011 and 21. Nothing else. Nothing more than that. Hardly they had 3% more votes compared to AIADMK. We all know that.
So you believe...
And the only government that was repeated was in 2016 by AIADMK in the last 30 and odd years.
But you would also accept, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, that if such narratives are being pushed, and rightly, wrongly, whatever, the counter to those narratives is not as effective as it should be, is it? Or are things changing now in Tamil Nadu?
Look, there is a reason that the BJP doesn't gain traction in Tamil Nadu as much as it should have. They just look, Annamalai has done wonders, but there's lots more that needs to be done. I think, one of these things that should be pushed is they really need to start going to Thousand Lights and saying that they want to get rid of all your votes and things like that. They want you to bring 20 constituencies down to one constituency. You see, why is it the BJP is always in reaction mode responding out there? They need to be like Rottweilers going and biting everybody else, and everybody else should be running away saying, ayyo, ayyo, ayyo. That is how you win. When you are the small party, you have to be the Rottweiler. Here they're behaving like, Karunanidhi used to have a Pomeranian called Blackie. They're behaving like Blackie. If you went to his house, he'd come, he'd lick your hand, get scratched. You can't win seats like this, boss. So you're absolutely right. I think the BJP needs to take its narrative game in a very, very different direction. This is not working. They need to start attacking. They need to keep coming up with, I don't care how many ludicrous statements they make ridiculous statements. The point is, it is the DMK that should be responding to you, not the other way around.
But the BJP will believe that what they have been able to, it takes time, but what they have been able to effectively do in Delhi, what they have been able to do in some of the other places where they didn't have a footprint for many decades, is about slowly working and slowly waiting that eventually the person who cries wolf gets called out and people stop believing that person. But somewhere there is a certain responsibility people in public office need to have, elected representatives need to have, that they need to pass on educated information. They should raise concerns, but fear-mongering and deliberately denying certain people their rights and also an opportunity, equal opportunity going forward. Here I talk about NEP and this whole thing about Hindi imposition. It's not 1969, it's not the Congress government which said Hindi has to be implemented and forcefully implemented. No, it is NEP which says any third language. So then you are reducing the employability, the acceptance of Tamil people, because if Tamil starts resisting other languages in other areas will start resisting Tamil. So how is Tamil going to grow? So it's going to be counterproductive that way too. Well, Pularauji, final word. So that's where I'm saying, is it responsible of the DMK government? And if they are resorting to this, despite having the mandate that they got in Lok Sabha 2024, is the DMK concerned that they are losing ground in Tamil Nadu? Are these the first signs of a leader thinking that they are losing ground and they need to fearmonger? They need to fear is the most primal instinct, and let me feed on that. Somewhere keep the flock together.
No, I don't think so. I don't think, Stalin or the DMK is this a new thing. They always took these stances all along. They used to be much more aggressive. They are not aggressive. They are making these statements. It's nothing new. Many people, North India suddenly say, they attacked Hinduism thing. We have been reading about it, hearing about it, reading about it, that it started in 1920. It's nothing new. Tamil Nadu has a different kind of texture there. But I agree with you. These issues are not going to change BJP's role. It will be very difficult for them to get together in alliance also now. And I'm going to say something which is going to irk you, but I do it respectfully. 40 seats. Mr. Annamalai promised 15 to 20 for the BJP. Narendra Modi nearly lost power because of these kind of gambles. You're
Sir,
right.
sometimes
Mr.
you
Iyer
have
is
to
right.
you have to aim to
Mr.
climb the
Yes,
Everest to
yes.
get on top of a
No,
tree, sir.
40
so,
years.
so that's their party strategy. For the DMK, they have to try and show and win an election without alliances. Even the
won
DMK
three
has
elections.
alliances, and even the DMK is winning elections in Tamil Nadu because it has got alliances and it is shoring up about
Correct.
10 to 11% of the vote share.
Correct.
So I think they have to reflect, saying since 1960s they have been present and they still today do not have a core voter base more than 24%. So that's also reflective of Tamil Nadu.
Correct.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank
Take
you,
40.
thank you. I have to wind up. Let's see. Let's hope this whole thing of misinformation stops, and there is healthy debate on real issues and current issues. And we've, for our viewers, settled the issues as far as delimitation is concerned. The promise coming from the Home Minister of Karnataka, of the country itself, beg your pardon, Home Minister Amit Shah himself, that it's going to be pro rata. The representation will not be compromised of the southern states at all, even once the delimitation exercise is over. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's the final day of Kumbh. It's Shivratri, and we bring you a musical ode. It's a Grammy winners collab. People who have been to the Kumbh, their experience via music. Stay with us for this Shivratri special.